We're live. Hey, Todd.
Hey, Myra, how are you?
So
Hey.
glad you came today.
Hey, I appreciate you bringing me in here. Thanks.
Awesome.
This is great.
All right. Hey, everybody. This is Realtor Myra here in my office with Todd Talbot. He owns his own, is it investment
It's a-
company? How do you categorize your company?
Sure. So, earlier in 2017, I started Red Mountain Financial. It's a full-service financial planning firm that likes to start with a financial plan, tries to see where people are and where they need to go, and then find different ways for people to get there. And often we use insurance products, life and disability and long-term care to guard against unforeseen
Right.
life events. And then
And a lot of people are scared of those products. They don't understand them. So I like the fact that you came and spoke to us before and kind of explained that stuff for in depth.
Sure. So there's a lot of misinformation
Yeah.
out there, and that's what we, as being independent, we don't have an agenda out there. Our job is to help educate the customer and then give them options, let them choose what's best for them.
Mm-hmm.
And then we keep our eye on the prize, which for most clients is some form of financial independence, and that means different things to different people.
Right.
But often there's a savings and or investment component to that. So we try to cover the whole range.
Okay, that's really good. It sounds like he's gonna have some good information for us today, stuff that I'm excited about. So when you were here, you were talking about different, like, tax savings that a lot of people are unfamiliar with.
Sure.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Sure. So there are a couple ideas that my clients have used successfully in the past, and first and foremost, I'm not a tax professional, so clients need to go and talk to their own CPA or tax professional. But there are a couple things that clients need to do, and depending on their circumstances. One is many people who have a business or are in business or have investment real estate, rental properties, need to invest in incorporating their business some shape, form, or fashion. That incorporation will limit their liability, it will protect their assets, and then there are some tax advantages that can come along with that as well. So that's the first and foremost step. And as we were talking earlier, it can easily be done with an attorney that you know, like, and trust,
Right.
can design something specialized for you, or in many states you can do it straight through the state
Right.
websites.
Right,
So it can be pretty easy.
pretty easy, okay. And what else do you have that you would like to bring to us today?
Yeah, so if we're talking about real estate and we're talking about investors purchasing rental property or commercial property,
Right.
one of the things that they need to be aware of is over the last 20 years or so, the IRS has allowed us to really take more in depreciation off of our property than we used to be able to do.
Right,
So depreciation allows us to take money off of our tax return, and it allows us to pay the IRS less each year.
which we all love.
We all love paying the
Keep
IRS
more of our
less.
money.
Nothing's free in life, but we pay the IRS less today, and if we pay the IRS less today, we have more money to put in savings. We have more money to invest in another property down the road. So, if you don't have to pay the IRS, a lot of people would prefer to have more money in their pocket.
Right.
So those are called cost segregation studies. The IRS lets us go into a property and find all the different deductions that we can. One common thing that people are doing is, let's say that a new commercial building is purchased, and there's a lot of
Right.
renovations that go into it. The HVAC needs to be replaced or something of that nature. When you replace major pieces of equipment or structural components of a building, the things that you throw away can also get you tax deductions. So I'm not a CPA, but
Right.
know that when you bring the CPA in and you work with the engineers for the cost segregation
Right.
study, then you can really find some tax savings there that too many people are missing. So I'm glad that we're here being able to get the word out to people. Thanks for this.
Right, because if you guys have questions, please comment, send us emails on your questions, because we're gonna get together again in the future. That way we can answer more questions for you. You were also talking about some savings on people that are just going into a mortgage. I try to educate people, everyone we use, try to educate them, but the more we can tell them, the better, so.
Sure. So when it comes to financing real estate, we get a mortgage and we get typically it's a level payment if we plan to have the property for a long time. We may get a 30-year mortgage, for example.
Which is typical for most people, because it seems like what the banks push or something.
It is.
Maybe because they make more money.
They make money, and they make money off interest.
Right.
And there's a big difference between paying interest and earning interest, but it's not that simple. Let me give you an example just to illustrate how big of a difference it really can be. If I'm just going to use a round number for 100,000, and that way you can double it, triple it, add a zero, whatever makes sense for your situation. But for $100,000, and let's just say 5% interest. Today we can get lower than that probably, but at 5% interest, your monthly payment, principal and interest, is going to be roughly $540, maybe a little bit less.
Right.
And you're paying that every single month for 30 years. And at the end, you have a $100,000 mortgage that's paid off, and the property hopefully has grown in a little bit of value. But you've paid a lot of interest to the bank. If you had merely invested that same $540 at the same 5% interest over the same 30 years, you'd have almost $500,000, probably about $450,000 available to you. So it's a big difference whether you're paying interest or earning interest. So there are different strategies that we work through to help people get out from underneath their mortgage faster, so that they are earning interest, not paying interest to the bank. And I know that you preach a lot about that as well.
Right, and like the rule of 72, I'm sure you're familiar with that.
Sure.
A lot of people needs to study the rule of 72 if you haven't looked at it. I really like that, because a lot of people can see themselves putting 500, 600, even 1,000, 1,500 into a mortgage, but they don't think about putting that into an investment. So I'm proud that you brought that to us today. If you're sticking 500 towards your mortgage, go see Todd and tell him, find out where you can put some more money.
The numbers just get amazing. I was talking with somebody earlier today over lunch. We were talking about just a $500,000 piece of property and a $2,400 monthly note that they had on a 30-year note, and that same $2,400 at the same 4 or 5% interest would have generated over $3.3 million over the time.
Right.
When that's a meaningful difference to people. So there's small things, small behavior changes that we can make that will make a profound impact on us in retirement. And I know that's what you do, help people do on the real estate side. That's what I help people do on the financial side. So I'm glad we can work together like this.
Awesome. Is there anything else that you would like to tell our clients today?
I would encourage your clients just to continue to seek professional advice.
Right.
Too many times there's a lot of good information on the internet. There's some misinformation on the internet as well. And when it comes to making important decisions like buying a home, or when it comes to retirement and things of that nature, we let our emotions get involved. And sometimes we can make hasty decisions or scary decisions. And we find, at least in the behavioral finance world, that people's behavior is really the biggest determination of whether they're going to be successful or not successful financially. And I know the same is true when you're buying a home, whether it's your residence, your home, or an investment property. So, that third-party counselor is probably one of the biggest investments that you can make.
Very important. I always say you don't know what you don't know, and a lot of times that's what comes back and bites you in the rear end.
That's it.
And you just really don't know. I've been to so many different classes where I learn things, especially if you're in a class with a lawyer or something like that, and you're like, wow, I didn't know anything about that,
Right.
So, the most professional advice you can get, and someone like Todd who can come, from Red Mountain and sit down with you do you charge when you sit down with people for the first consultation or anything?
I don't. You
guys, he's a really nice guy, don't y'all?
I don't want there to be barriers, because people need good information and they need some help. And then everybody's in a different circumstance. And some people I'm not able to help, and then some people I can certainly help improve.
So who would be the person that you would more be able to help, or the range maybe?
Sure. So our firm really has, we've found that we specialize in that most of our clients are professionals.
Mhm.
And that includes, we have a large contingency of clients that are in the medical field.
Right.
A lot of physicians all across the southeast of the nation, but all across the southeast. And then we have a lot of business owners as well,
Okay.
a lot of IT professionals, engineers,
Mhm.
things of that nature. So, those type of people often have employment at major firms, but they may
Right.
also have a side business
Right.
at the same time. And we help them both personally, and then in the business, working with businesses is another field of expertise that we have.
Wow. Well, I really appreciate.
I appreciate you letting me come in here. This
And
was
you know
great.
what? We're gonna get together again soon.
I look forward to it.
And we will bring you more information, you guys. And like I said, bring us your questions and your comments, and that way we'll know, what subject that we should bring to them. Before you go today, I want to give you one of my books. If you guys want one of my books, Home Selling Secrets of the Rich and Famous, because everybody wants to be rich and famous, right? Just give me a call, but I'm gonna give you one, and you read
Fantastic.
it, and next time you see me, let me know what you think about it.
I will.
Maybe we won't do that on cam, no, I'm kidding. But yeah, let me know what you think about it, and thank you so much for sitting with me. You've been very helpful today.
Absolutely.
I
This was a lot of fun.
appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, it was.
Appreciate
Thanks.
it.
Bye guys, you have a great day.